Welcome to the happiest place on turf, the Palms course at Walt Disney World. Lucky enough to sneak away on a family trip and get in a round of golf. Taking a look at the par golf app, the first hole's a short par 5. We got swamp to the right, a bunker to the left. Glancing at that map, really there's a lot more room left than you think, but in this case I'm trying to aim down the right hand side of the fairway and draw it back to the middle. But first swing of the day, and that's blocked into the sun, bounds over a mound right into the swamp. Not a great first swing, and I'll be taking a penalty. I get to drop on this side of the cart path, but I'm still in trouble. I've got trees to the right hand side I've got to work with. The green is still tucked around to the right, so trying to hit a low cut here. The key is to not bite off more than you can chew. Just when you're in trouble, get out, get in the fairway. It's a short par 5, you'll have a wedge either way. It's easier said than done, but there's no reason to be a superhero on a shot like this. I have no chance to hit the green. I do exactly what I said not to do and clip the palm tree. Lucky to get out, but I only advanced the ball about 100 yards. Leaving myself a longer wedge, still in the fairway, so I did get away with it, but that was a poor decision that could have cost me. Just about 115 yards here to the hole, pins in the middle of the green, pretty stock shot, just aim at the flag, hit a good wedge, give yourself a putt for par. Still struggled to get through it a little bit early in the round. I mean, I did have a chance to warm up, but I'm getting kind of stuck and flaring it to the right. Left myself a little over 20 feet for par. This is a pretty straight putt, not a lot to it, so as far as first putts go, not too difficult. Just get the speed right, make sure you leave with nothing worse than bogey. Don't need any magic on this one. Good line, just short, tap in for bogey. Disappointing on a short par 5 for sure, but could have been worse after the trouble I got into on the first tee. I'm using the par golf app, so after each shot, after each hole, I put in my score, put in how many putts I had, and it turns those scores into shots. And look at the old man roll one in. So 1 over through 1, not ideal at the happiest place on turf. Second hole's a new opportunity. Looking at the par golf app, the second hole is a short par 4 around water. There's a bunker on the right hand side, swamp on the right hand side. Really, I'm trying to draw it off that bunker on the right to find the fairway. Hitting driver here because the further I hit it, the more I can carry over the water. A confident swing takes a lot of the water out of play. But that was not a confident swing. Again, I blocked it. Again, over the bunker. Again, in the swamp. And again, I'm taking a penalty. I'll drop on this side of the cart path since there's nothing but swamp on the right-hand side. But now I'm just trying to get it on the green and again, make bogey the worst score I can make. The key when you're off to kind of a rough start is to not make things worse. Looking back at the video, I was never aimed left enough for this shot. The pin was in an easy spot on the green and I was just lined up right the whole way. Blocked it right, never got it left enough to the green, and now I'm trying to get up and down for bogey, so compounding errors here early on in the round. Not ideal, but it's a pretty straightforward up and down. Plenty of green to work with, just landed a few feet on the green and let it trickle up to the hole. Should be a tap-in bogey. And that was nicely executed, but I flew that a couple feet further than I needed to, and while that only looks like 3 to 4 feet, it was closer to 6 feet, so a 6-foot putt for bogey, a key not to let this round get away early. Should break a little left to right. I'm rolling the ball well. One last look. Oh, and that was a good stroke, but just didn't break. Maybe had a little too much pace on it for the line that I chose. And I'm looking pretty grumpy at the happiest place on turf. That's a bogey double start. 3 over after 2. Not ideal. The third hole's a short par 3. Really, it's only about 135 yards or so to cover those bunkers from the tees that I'm playing. Should be a pretty straightforward wedge shot. Pins in the middle of the green. Just put a good swing on it, stop the bleeding. And that one was right at it. Pretty good swing there, covers the bunker right in the middle of the green. Should have a good look at birdie there. But of the first 3 holes, that's the best swing I've put on it yet. And that leaves me just 9 feet for birdie. This was actually a pretty difficult read. The hole was up on a crown, and so it was difficult to tell whether it was going to go left or right. You can see from the video that I'm aiming a little to the right-hand side of the hole, expecting it to trickle back a little bit to the left. But it doesn't. It was actually pretty straight. If anything, it wiggled a little left to right, and that's a missed opportunity. Easy par, but leaves me a little unhappy at the happiest place on turf. 3 over through 3, work to do, but lots of golf left. Using the par golf app on the 4th hole, it's a almost drivable par 4, so looking straight away and it being short, I'm aiming straight at the pin and trying to blast one onto the green. Particularly after the frustration of the first 3 holes, I feel like I can make up some ground here with a good drive. So, aiming straight away, bombs away. But again, I just can't get through the ball. I'm blocking it. This is the 3rd drive, and all 3 of them have been blocked significantly off of my target line, and again it's in the swamp. This is the 3rd drop, 3rd penalty in 4th holes. That's not a good look. Again, dropping pretty near the cart path. Since it is a short hole, I still only have about 45-50 yards to chip it onto the green, so a chance to get up and down for par and minimize the mistake. But again, I'm scrambling, just trying to make sure I don't make worse than bogey. And that's a pretty good shot. Leave myself about 6 feet to save par here. Hopefully stop the bleeding, build some momentum moving on to the rest of the round. Again, this looks like a pretty straight putt. Lining up maybe to play it a little left to right. And it just slides outside. That's the 2nd power lip in 4 holes. That's going to grind my gears a little bit. And again, not too happy at the happiest place on turf. Moving on to the 5th hole, another shortish par 4. You've got a bunker right and a bunker left. This hole fits my eye a little bit better, and that first bunker is really not in play. I can blast a bunker right over it. So I'm lined up at the right edge of that bunker and trying to blast the drive and get one in the fairway for the first time today. And there it is. I wasn't stuck on that one. That was a good turn, got through the ball, and cranked one right down the middle. Exactly what I needed at this point in the round. Leaving myself inside 100 yards, or right at around 100 yards, for just a little tiny wedge to get on the green. Pin's in a pretty accessible place, nothing tricky here. You can see the construction they're doing on the left-hand side, so a little bit of crowd noise, but pretty straightforward wedge. And that's a little bit left of the pin, but good distance, good swing. Another good look at birdie here from just 12 feet. You can see the green slopes pretty heavily from left to right for me, right to left from the video. I've underread a few, so can I play this high enough? Man, and that's another good stroke. I feel like I haven't hit a single bad putt, and I am now 4 over par through 5 holes. That's frustrating. Flat stick feels good and I just can't get it in the hole. I'm not rewarding myself off the tee with the 3 penalties, so I should be looking at the positives there, that with 3 penalties I'm only 4 over, and I feel like I'm putting it well, but it's easy to get frustrated. The 6th hole using the par golf app is a short par 4. You've got water left and water through the fairway, so I'm dialing it back to just a 3-wood to find the fat part of the fairway and take away some of that trouble. A nice draw off the right hand side will do just fine. That's a good swing, but I did block it again off of where I wanted it. Not quite committing and following through when there's water to the left. I just don't trust it. I feel like a duck hook's coming. That leaves just an easy 9-iron in. I'm hitting the ball a long way in the heat. The green is sloped kind of sideways and you got water short, so a tricky approach shot to commit to, but a short iron in hand. And I clobbered that one. Caught it a little close to the heel. Smothered it, smashed it over the green. That's a long 9-iron to go 165 yards.
Plenty, man.
And again, I'm unhappy at the happiest place on turf. Trying to get up and down. Don't want to throw away the momentum of a couple of good holes here. Starting to make more pars. But this is a tough chip shot. I've got to carry it 15 to 20 yards and let it trickle down to the hole over this rough. Just begging for a putt for par. I'm tired of scrambling and making bogeys. Open the face. Hit it up in the air. That's pretty well done. I'm happy with that, and I got another testy 6-footer for par. Haven't made really any of these yet. It's another tricky read. Looks like a pretty straight putt. Lined up for it maybe to go a little bit left. And it kind of goes left and then wiggled back in the hole. That didn't look like a super confident putt, but it's in the hole and it's a par. That takes us to the 7th hole, which is another short par 5. I should have glanced more at the par golf app before I took this swing. It looked straightforward, like you want to aim over that bunker, but if you look at par golf on the right, you see that there's swamp to the right and trouble to the right, and it really opens up quite a bit to the left. Had I known that, I probably wouldn't have made the swing I just made. That was an aggressive line, especially for somebody blocking all of their tee shots, and I hit it into the swamp again. I had miles left. Unhappy. Again, I'm dropping just off the cart path. This time the drive went a grand total of 176 yards. Again, I can't reach the green in regulation after the penalty, so I'm really just trying to lay up to a good spot to get a wedge. But that tree gets in the way, don't really hit the cut. In this case, I double cross it through the fairway into the rough on the other side. Still have just a wedge in, but I'm trying to get up and down for par. Can't give away the momentum that at least I'm starting to build with some good putts. And I hated that wedge because I did catch it heavy out of the rough, but it flew enough to cover the bunker and actually ended up in a pretty good spot. Didn't expect that swing to leave me 7 feet for par, but here I am. Another pretty straight putt. This should break from my right to left. And finally matched up the speed with the line, and that's right in the heart. Still frustrating on a short par 5 to walk away with par, but at least I didn't give away another stroke after yet another penalty. That's 4 penalties on the front 9. The 8th hole is a medium length par 3. It was playing closer to 190 on this day, but it's straight. There's no trouble in front of it. There's nothing tricky here. Just hit a really good 6-iron in the middle of the green and I'll have a putt for birdie. And that was a good strike. That was flushed right in the center. Probably my best swing of this front 9 so far, leaving myself just 13 feet for birdie and a chance to really start accelerating this round, getting it back on track. Another pretty straight putt, playing this to break a little right to left. And that was a dead pull. That did not go where I expected it to go. A pretty bad miss, a pretty poor putt. Probably the first poor putt that I've hit on the front 9. I haven't made anything, and it's frustrating me a little bit at this point. I missed the 9th hole tee shot on video, but it was a pretty uninteresting shot. The hole forces you to lay up on this par 4, so it was just a 4-iron to the middle of the fairway, leaving me about 150 yards. The pin's on the front right side of the green, so I'm going to aim at the right edge to play my stock draw. I want to stay away from the left-hand side where there's trouble. There's a bunker and water left, so just fly it out to the right-hand side, let it draw back to the hole with an easy 9-iron. And still struggling to get through it a little bit. That was well struck. It is pin high, but it didn't quite draw back to the green, so I'm just on the apron here, having to get up and down yet again. But at least it's a simple up and down, and it's an up and down for par instead of an up and down for bogey. Pretty simple shot. Just get on the green and let it roll out to the hole. That's well executed. A little low, but inside 18 inches. That should be a tap in for par. And I at least have the wheels on the cart at this point. Stacked up quite a few holes together after that rough start being 4 over through 4. So after being 4 over through 4, I end the front 9 at 4 over. No birdies, but I've stopped the bleeding, and you can really see from the scorecard and strokes gained that I was giving it away with my driver. I did have a few close putts that I missed, but all of those strokes were good. If I can just stop making penalties, I've really got a chance to score on the back 9. Like and subscribe, stay tuned, and join me to see how the back 9 unfolds.